Welcome to Throwback Thursday. So for today's Throwback Thursday, we decided to do album shares of either our first album we ever made or an album that is older. I actually have the first scrapbook album I ever made, so I decided to go ahead and do that. This is an 8.5 by 11 album, and there's a little bit of a story behind it. So if you don't mind staring at the green cover for a minute, I'll tell you this story. I started scrapbooking because my sister, she lived with me through her senior year of high school, and she wanted to do a scrapbook. So I went to Michael's, and she was like, I want a scrapbook. I want to do a scrapbook. I said, okay. So I went to Michael's, and she bought some scrapbooking stuff, supplies, an album, different things. We went back to my house that day, and I was watching what she was doing, and I was like, oh, this is so cool, because I was absolutely a shutterbug. I have taken pictures ever since I was old enough to have a camera, and pictures, pictures, pictures. Way more pictures than I was a picture girl. So at this point, my baby was 1. So of course, pictures, lots of pictures, tons of pictures. I went to a photography studio and had his picture taken faithfully every month. So a couple days later, I was at Walmart and I found this Winnie the Pooh scrapbook kit, and I thought, oh, I can do this. So I bought that. I started working on that, and then someone invited me to a Creative Memories party, and I decided that I was going to move my son's first year scrapbook from Winnie the Pooh, which I kind of already started, into this Creative Memories 8.5 by 11 album. So that's what I did. So now I'm going to flip you through. Now this album is chunky. I mean, think about it. There were no dimensional embellishments then. Crazy chunky. So I'm going to flip through it rather quickly because there's a lot here. It's a pretty big album. So I did post this on Instagram the one day because I wanted to, it was for one of Chamel's photo things, photo prompts or whatever. Her scrapbook like a superhero, which I started, and then somewhere around the 20th of June fizzled out. So, whoops. But here we go. So I'm sure, lots of photos cut into shapes. I drew these bubbles because they had bubbles on their noses. Lots of photos. Lots of Winnie the Pooh. Lots of sticker sneezes. Can you see both of this? I think you can, yeah. Lots of sticker sneezes. Lots of decorative edges. This was 2001, guys. Right? And these are, this is film. So I can't replace these photos. I can't get them redeveloped. They're not digital. So we're just this is what we got, right? This is what we did. Lots of colored cardstock, die cuts. I actually still kind of think this is cute. The way that I cut the photos into circles and put them in the middles. And look, these are scissor cuts. This was before I had a Creative Memories circle cutter. So this was all done by hand. Lots of colored cardstock, the stuff you would expect. Cutting around the carousel horse. It was 2001. This is what we did back then, right? Yeah, so this is just lots of drawing hearts, cutting hearts out by hand. Pretty sure I cut this all by hand. Lots of fun things. Balls and cutting circles. Journaling. This I think is kind of cool because this was before, maybe not before Ellie Edwards did her day in the life, but definitely before I knew about Ellie Edwards doing a day in the life. I don't know when she started them, but here's, like a day with my son Morgan, and I have all these lovely little captions and different things. And yeah, hand cut letters, which is actually coming back into style. I should try doing that again. Animal cracker stickers. Those are lovely. And all the little edges, all the edges. again, like, so these are, I have them marked with the numbers and what was going on in each of these little fun photos outside, playing at the park. Oh, I don't know if we're gonna get through this whole album. I might have to like, maybe I'll put some music on and you guys can just watch me flip through the album. I don't know. We'll see. I feel like I don't want to narrate all of this album because it is quite big, right? So I would love, someone had pointed out or commented, I know what I'm going to discuss while I flip through this album and you guys look. Someone commented on one of my layout shares about how they thought that, you know, that people were embarrassed about their old layouts. I am so not, you guys. I am so not embarrassed by this. This was the thing back then, right? This was the thing in 2001. This was what scrapbooking was. And I loved this hobby, and I loved I loved this hippopotamus sticker. I loved the fact that I go and get this title and had a sticker, you know? I loved it. I loved these corner squares. I loved these little mats of cardstock. I loved drawing. I love this page because if you see here, it says, after watching Mommy's scrapbook, Morgan decided he wanted to try it too. And so he scribbled all over my page. And you know what? I kept it. I kept it just like that because that's a memory to me. Like, that is so, yeah. That's definitely something that at this time, and now when I look at this, I'm like, oh, look at those scribbles, because the baby in this picture is 17, so I'm not embarrassed by my old scrapbook pages by any means, and I'm not embarrassed to share them because this is what it was. This was scrapbooking. This is what we had. These were the products we had. This is what we did. We went, me and some friends drove an hour to a scrapbook store, and I was just so excited when I got these little corner punches. And I was always someone who, if I didn't like something, even at this stage, if I didn't like it, I took it apart and redid it. So when I flip through here, I see pages that at that time I liked. I loved when I learned how to do this like funky lettering. I loved these patterns that I could find, at the store. I loved going to that scrapbook store that was an hour away and pulling and buying all these super themed up stickers that matched my photos. So yeah, I really have no problem flipping through and showing my older work because this is my roots. This is my scrapbooking roots. This is where I kind of started. So that's it. And I added memorabilia even then. And I added lots, this is an 8.5 by 11 page. And now wow, look at all these photos, and they're all corner rounded and 4 photos on 8.5 by 11 page. But at the time, it was all the photos. This was the event. I only took these 4 photos when we went to the circus, and that's all I have. Or Disney on Ice, I think. Yeah, this is Disney on Ice. And so I put them all on a page. So I really have no problem with the older albums. And of course your photos. And the photos tell about this time period. So the product should tell about this time period too, I think. I remember how much I loved this page when I created it. And I remember how excited I was when I found these awesome tile letter stickers that went with these photos, and all kinds of different things. So I never think about tearing some of these pages up or redoing pages like this from my first scrapbook album because I was so enamored and I was so excited that this existed, that I could do this with my pictures, that and I was exactly the same way with buying stuff. Like I was a shopper for my scrapbooks. Even back then, I bought lots of stuff from Creative Memories. I bought, you know, we would go to that scrapbook store, and there was a whole wall of like stickers, just stickers, and you would look at all the stickers, and there were so many different kinds, and you know, you could pick and choose, and the variety was just amazing. And I remember that I would always leave that scrapbook store with tons of stickers, because stickers, that was it. And she did have pattern paper, but you know what? I never bought it. I never even walked over there. I was like, I don't need pattern paper. I have stickers and cardstock from Creative Memories. So that was what I used, and that was what I did. And we actually kind of made it to the end of my little rants. We actually kind of made it to the end of my flip through. So yeah, here's these lovely like little purple flowers. Finally, okay, so this is when I started using letter stickers from. This is when I started to do, you know, not to, if you look forward, how I was writing my titles and all that. Yep. So here I've discovered letter stickers, and I've discovered journaling boxes. So that's really cool, right? And stencils. I used a stencil in that. And I think I used an entire package of Bob the Builder stickers. And here's my son filling up. My little boy adored Bob the Builder. And here he is filling up his little dump truck with popcorn. This is hilarious now. At the time, you know, it was him and his Woody doll from Toy Story. But now when I look at that title, I giggle a little bit. This is Mrs. Grossman's. Wow, how about that? I always enjoyed cutting borders with cardstock and like weaving it all together. Susie Zoo. Who remembers Susie Zoo, guys? And then here is our last layout where I created a road. So cool. All right, so that was my very first scrapbook album that I ever created. I hope you have enjoyed this little album share, this little album flip through. I'd love to hear your comments down below. And have a wonderful day, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.